Hello, this is Joe from Nerd in Korea. It is actually now 2024. It's New Year's Day today on filming, and we will be doing one more opening. Battle for Baldur's Gate. I opened this before, I really liked it, and I think this should be a good one. So we're going to try to make the price review quicker. The last one was the Brothers War, and that had two kind of like special edition things. So that had Transformers and special artifact borders. So there was a lot to go over for that. I'm going to try to make this much shorter. Going to go over some of the top value cards. The Ancient Dragons are way up. I didn't realize they were this far up. They were hanging between kind of like the $5 to $10 range for quite a while. And they have shot up to Ancient Copper Dragon, which I would agree is the best one, is over $60. Oh, wow. Keep in mind, this set came out June 10th, 2022. So about a year and a half ago. And this is actually where I think it's most useful to go over and look at prices, because a lot of prices, especially overly inflated prices, have come down. I think some things are still undervalued and will go up, but the overvalued things, they're done, you know. So Ancient Copper Dragon, $60. Oh my gosh. And whenever this does damage to another player, or combat damage, sorry, I should specify combat damage, you roll a d20 and create that many treasures. So every time this hits someone, you can make up to 20 treasures. Yeah, that's pretty intense, especially if you combine it with some cards that allow you to roll twice and take the higher result. That you might win the game right there. If you've got just like 20 mana sitting around ready to go. Really, as long as you have cards in hand, you should be able to like at least get something done. Ancient Silver Dragon. My favorite of the D&D dragons is actually the Silver Dragon. Well, that'll hard to call. Copper Dragon is fun too, but anyway. Whenever Ancient Silver Dragon deals combat damage to a player, roll a d20. These are all roll a d20 for the D&D set. You know, d20 system, haha. Well, I don't know if it was a joke, but still, you know. Draw cards equal to the result. You have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game. That's insane. Okay, card draw is great. No maximum hand size for the rest of the game. That means even if someone kills this dragon, exile the dragon, fine. You still have no maximum hand size. It doesn't matter. They can't do it. There's nothing that can interact with that. Once this happens, it's done. Like, if you can get this on the board and get damage through, the rest of the game, hey, boom. No maximum hand size. And card draw, of course, is very, very good. That's at $22 now, $22.77. Battle Angels of Tyr. I'm somewhat surprised with how much this is worth. I guess kind of not really, but anyway. A lot of white cards are doing this kind of thing where it's like balancing the scales rather than like creating a real advantage. It's more like preventing a disadvantage, or partially preventing a disadvantage, I should say. But anyway, okay. So, whenever Battle Angels of Tyr deal combat damage to a player, draw a card if that player has more cards in hand. Create a treasure if that player controls more lands than each other player. Then gain 3 life if that player has more life than each other player. So if you are attacking the person who has the most cards, you can draw cards. Person with the most life, you gain life. And person with the most mana or land, you make treasure. Hey, it's kind of a nice equalizer. Ideally, you're not behind. You're going to be behind in something, right? So this kind of sorts out everything. Like, if you have the most life, the most cards, the most, land, then you probably don't need anything else. So this is good. Again, for just about any deck, I think this could fit in. And the price reflects that. It's just under $18 at $17.94. Ancient Brass Dragon. I think this is actually better than the Silver Dragon, but that's me. Whenever, again, it's the roll a d20 if it does damage. When it does that number, you can take creatures out of any graveyard. Remember, any graveyard, including your opponent's. You can steal, even potentially. I'm trying to say 3 things at once. It doesn't work. Okay. You can take things from your opponent's graveyards, even put them onto the battlefield for yourself, which is always potentially good. It gives you a lot of control over what you have on the board. Well, I guess, maybe early game. Well, this is 7 mana to cast, so it's probably not early game if you're playing in this, but anyway. Yeah, early game, maybe not so much. Late game, this is just a monster. This is definitely I think this will help you win games, really. Like the Copper Dragon in this one, I feel like this is getting advantage. I'm saying the word too much. At least I mean it is compared to, but anyway. I've been watching too much YouTube with people who are maybe not smart. Yeah, that's not a nice thing to say, but it's true. Fury of Avernus. Carlatch, I think. This card was way lower for quite a long time. I wish I had bought some, because I looked at this and said, wow, that's actually pretty good. Now it's $15. But it was under $1 for quite a while, or under $2, I should say. And I just never really needed it. It never fit into a deck, so I never got one. I think I do have one sitting around, but anyway, we have all of these lands, this land rotation. Morphic Pool. It enters the battlefield untapped unless you have 2 or more opponents. Once again, great for Commander. All of these. There is a full set of them with all the different color combinations, or 2 color combinations, I should say. So, yeah. Then Ancient Gold Dragon. The dealing damage, creating fairy dragons with flying. Great blockers. Of course, they're 1/1s. Monster Manual. I have a Monster Manual sitting around somewhere. This is up at $11 too. So again, first of all, adventure. It has an adventure. I love this mechanic. I think it is one of the better mechanics that have come out in quite some time. It actually plays well. It allows other people to interact with it without any kind of weird extra rules involved. I think one of the criticisms about, say, battles is well, okay, we have these new card type, so you've got all of this stuff like Doomblade, for instance. How does that work with this? Does that count as being a creature? No, it's not a creature. No, it's not an artifact. No, it's not an enchantment. How do I kill it other than just attacking it? So yeah, this adventures, you can counter it when you use the sorcery or instant, the first step and the second step, right? So it is kind of, maybe the downside is that they get 2 bites of the apple to try and counter it, but you also get, you get 2 spells out of it, basically, which can definitely be abused. But anyway, yeah, I would really love to get another one of these. This is another one that had been sitting at, I'm quite sure it was under $1 originally, because I remember looking this up and going, wow, that should be worth more money. And now I keep seeing these cards where I'm like, wow, that's really good. That should cost more money. And then later, I look it up, a year later, and it's like, oh, it's $11 now. Yeah, it's like 10 times the value it was before. Displacer Kitten. This is the last one I'm going to review from the top value cards, just because this one was actually the #1 value card. It is very good. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, exile up to one target non-land. Anyway, exile flicker effect basically is what you'd call it, a flicker effect. You can take it off the battlefield to put it back on the battlefield. This is a good effect. A lot of stuff does this. Not a lot of things, I guess, are triggered by just casting a non-creature spell. So this fits into a lot of decks really nicely. I'm building a deck right now. This should be great for. What is the wall called? Rampart? Sky Perillion or something? Yeah. Anyway, I'm building a deck this would be great for. So if I get that, I have a place for it. That is down to, whoa, $10.43. This was at like $40 when this came out. This was like a whole thing. Anyway, and more luxury suite. Anyway, a lot of those kind of like, yeah. The Bronze Dragon at +1/+1 counters. That's under $10. I think that's worth more. Not a lot more, but more. Sea of Clouds, but yeah, anyway. Archivist of Ogma is down to $5.65. Again, this was a super expensive card when the set first came out. I got one of these, and I was like, hey, I've got like a $30 card. Great. And it's like under $6 now, of course. Anyway, I think the top cards. Jaheira, Friend of the Forest. Tokens you control add 1 green mana. Oh, wow. That's really, really, really good. Tap for mana. Just turning all your token creatures into essentially, or any tokens, into forests, basically. Even treasures, right? You can tap the treasure and not sacrifice it. This lets you just tap the treasure and treat it as a green mana rather than sacrificing it. So, kinda, it's great. Because, yeah, really, this works with anything. A lot of tokens are maybe easier to create than treasure sometimes. Like, if you want to make creature tokens or, like clue tokens or anything like that. A lot of times, food tokens in the Lord of the Rings set, there's a lot of food token things. You could probably make a lot of those very easily. Throwing this in there, oh boy, yeah. And you can choose a background with it. And that's kind of one of the special things about this set is you've got the kind of the main card, and then it works a lot like Ally, where you've got a background, an enchantment, and a creature that you can use as your commander in combination. So it lets you also choose the color identity. That's what the word I was looking for. Anyway, Legion Loyalty. I actually bought this recently, and it's worth less now, of course. Yeah. Creatures you control have Myriad. Blade of Cells also gives a creature Myriad. So when you attack with that creature, it makes a copy that attacks each opponent. So this can be used in a lot of different ways. I think Myriad is a great ability. For instance, I have an Ally Tribal deck, Ally Kindred, whatever you want to call it, Typal, Kindred, and that this would trigger each thing multiple times. Every time the token comes in, it makes a copy, and the copies will each be of the creature, so they're allies. So you're going to have that kind of like a stack of triggers going off just by attacking with something, which is pretty good. Anyway. Tasha the Witch Queen, I actually have a special art and one of these. Under $3 now. This was like 15 bucks when I got that. I was pretty pumped. Vixen Puzzle Box. This is one of the ones where I said, yeah, if you would roll one or more dice, put a number of charge counters on Vixen Puzzle Box equal to the result. So this doesn't let you roll extra, but any number, you just keep adding charge counters to that. And you can use 100 charge counters to search your library for an artifact card and put it onto the battlefield. Or add 1 mana of any color and roll a d20. Honestly, this is a lot better than most, I think. Even Arcane Signet. It's basically a signet that can, once in a while, will be able to search for an artifact. Any artifact you want out of your deck. Why is this under $3? This is undervalued massively. And that's kind of what I was saying at the beginning, was the overvalued cards. At this point, they've come down. Undervalued cards, they're definitely still undervalued cards. And that's sort of the last thing I want to discuss. Nature's Lore. Nature's Lore, search your library for a forest card. Put that card onto the battlefield, then shuffle. It's a sorcery for 1 and a green. Does that sound familiar? It probably should, because it is the same card as another card. That is 3 visits. And we got a Doctor Who version I'm going to show you now, which is fun. Anyway, 1 and a green sorcery. Search your library for a forest card. Put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. Am I missing something? I feel like there's such a difference in value here. This is under $2. 3 visits is $6.49. So this is over 3 times the value. Same card, different name. The fact that it has different names means that at least you can put 2 of them, or 1 of each, I should say, into your decks. If they have green color identity, you probably should do both. I have like 3 visits cards, which is confusing to say, but so I'm happy with this. But I've also got oh yeah, Nature's Lore. So it's one of those times where I go, but why? You know? In a year and a half, that's more than enough time for people to be like, hey, this is the same card as the $6 card. Buy this. It seems like people have not, really. It is up 5% this week, but anyway. And good old Swiftfoot boots. But anyway, Decanter of Endless Water. I feel like, okay, I know I said the last card was the last card, but real last card. No maximum hand size, add 1 mana of any color. Okay, no maximum hand size. If you've got any deck where there's a lot of card draw, which I think is very common, this is something you want to have. 3 mana for a mana rock, not uncommon. You know, it's not the cheapest, it's not Arcane Signet, definitely. You're paying more, but is it worth it? I would say in a lot of decks, yes, absolutely. The no maximum hand size is one of the rules that will kick you in the butt for drawing cards. You want to draw cards? You don't want to discard them, right? So, hey, but anyway. Alright, let's just get to the opening at this point, because I feel like I'm just rambling now. Anyway, see you later.